Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon solo video. Today we'll be using the dead Rabbits Boss Meursault. He's not that complicated of an identity, and one can pretty much understand exactly what he does just by looking at him. His main purpose, and what he was designed to do, is simply win clashes. Through his conditionals and his passive, he can end up clashing for a 20 with his skill 3, which is pretty good for a 2-star. All of his conditionals are dependent on the enemy he's attacking having a rupture stack, so in order for him to be any good, he needs to have enough rupture count to not accidentally kill the rupture stack when he's attacking. So how much rupture count does he have exactly? He has a grand total of 2 between all of his skills. In total, this gives him a -5 rupture count, and because his only count is actually tied to a clash win conditional, he can actually sometimes end up being -7. As much as I want to like this identity, and believe me, I do, he is simply not a very good rupture identity because rupture as a status effect is completely incapable of supporting that level of negativity. I've said this before in one of my previous videos, but there are about 5 total skills in the entire game, not identities mind you, but skills, that have consistent positive rupture count. All of them are +1 or maybe +2, but unless you're using every single one of them, you'll be completely incapable of supporting an identity as negative in count as dead Rabbits Meursault. Does this make him completely hopeless though? No, far from it. But unless you're winning clashes with his skill 2 and nothing but his skill 2, he simply will be doing you more harm than good. It certainly doesn't help matters that he's completely outclassed in every conceivable way by Sync Meursault, but that's another matter entirely. Anyway, to start the run off, we take these starter buffs and get Barbed Lasso, Standard Duty Battery, and Bloody Gadget on the first floor of 2B Cleave before making it to the boss against Fairy Longlegs. Being fatal to both Lust and Pierce damage, this fight is pretty difficult. The bleed the Fairy inflicts makes it so if we ever get staggered, we're basically dead, so we have to get lucky on the first few turns with him rolling tails in order to survive. We try our best to keep a rupture stack alive, but with no extra support for that, it's more or less impossible. Still though, as soon as we get enough skill slots, the little rupture we can inflict is enough to activate our conditionals, so clashing is not really much of an issue. We take Phlebotomy Pack and Prejudice for a reward and head into To Be Crushed for the next floor. Here we buy Coffee and Cranes and Death Seeker before making it to the boss against the robots. This is a super easy fight for babies, so naturally it's a pretty close fight. In all seriousness though, with the robots being weak to blunt damage, it's pretty easy to knock them down to low health and trigger their skill check, letting us win the fight with very little issue.
저것들 너덜너덜하잖아. 후드려 패주지.
부위 한쪽이 떨어져 나갔군. 과거 본인의 모험에서도.
늦은 탐인가. 토끼들이 보일 거야. 후드려 패주지. 필요 없는 시간을 가져가지. 필요 없는 시간.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
늦은 탐인가. 토끼들이 보일 거다. 필요 없는 시간을
원더풀한 선택이었어, 나리. 저들의
We take Clasp Sculpture and Blue Zippo Lighter for a reward and head into Trickled Sanguine Blood for the next floor. Here we buy Lowest Star and fuse Special Contract before making it to the boss against the Drenched Gossypium. Just like with the Fairy Longlegs, we are practically weak to every one of this thing's attacks. At the very least though, because of both Princess Rodion and Fenghan Honglu's support passives, bleed is not much of an issue for us. We have to start the fight by using Regret to turn off most of our weaknesses, and then get fairly lucky with the rolls of the Gossypium in order to not get staggered. While a flower does end up negating the stagger for us, it does inflict enough bleed to overpower our support passives and can quickly cause the death of us. Phlebotomy Pack is capable of staving it off for a while, but the sheer amount of pierce damage proves too much for us and we do end up getting staggered. This only really serves to force us to use an ego to clash with a specific skill, but soon after we stagger the Gossypium and with the special contract nuke can finish it off shortly after.
후드려 해주지.
그러니 우리가 아무런 위험 없이 대처할 수 있을 것일세.
야, 저 새끼 좀 봐. 후드려 해주지. 정치 벗어날 수 없다.
무엇을 잘못했는지 아는 것부터가 시작이랬어.
필요 없는 시간을 가져가지.
We take Lithograph and Oracle for our reward and head into Mountain of Corpses Sea of Blood for the next floor. Here we buy Ragged Umbrella and an extra skill 2 while also fusing Fluorescent Lamp before making it to the boss against Cassetti. Like usual, Cassetti is a pretty easy fight. Starting it off against nothing but weak enemies makes it so that even though they do fatal damage, we can get through them no problem. With an extra skill 2 and Ragged Umbrella, building a rupture stack is also pretty easy, so once we get to Cassetti himself, he falls relatively quickly.
후드려 해주지. 너희는 필요 없는 시간을 가져가지.
착하게 죽었으면 빨리 나와.
후드려 해주지. 필요 없는 시간.
전공 공격. 다음에 다른 개체에게도 다시 해봐줄래? 영상을 만들면 다른 직원에게도 도움이 될지도 몰라. 내 배가 배고파 있어.
후드려 해주지. 필요 없는 시간을 가져가지. 필요 없는 시간을 가져가지. 필요 없는 시간.
칼날이 잘 드네요.
필요 없는 시간.
아마 그 공격이 약점이었겠죠? 직원들이 개체를 제압.
후드려 해주지. 깨달음을 얻으셨군요.
모자를 쓰고 있는 혈기에겐 방망이 대신 풍선이 정답이에요. 나이스! 하나 제꼈다.
후드려 해주지. 필요 없는 시간.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지.
직원들이 개체를 제압하는 데 성공했어요.
후드려 해주지.
알쏭달쏭해.
후드려 해주지.
도와줄까요, 돌신형이?
후드려 패주지.
큰 거 온다.
후드려 패주지.
완전 프레스 선택이었어, 말이! 저들의 약점이 뻔히 보이는 게로군!
We take a duplicate and the trial plan guide for our reward and head into Thunder and Lightning for the final floor. Here we buy painkillers and smoking gunpowder while also fusing Thunder Branch before making it to the boss against the Wayward passenger. With the Gluttony fatality, the passenger could very easily end up staggering us on the first turn, but by using an ego to turn that off, we can end up surviving the first turn without staggering. This doesn't really help us much, as staggering on the first turn of this fight is of no real consequence, but it does allow us to destroy at least one of his portals and stop him from getting one of the buffs. Once he returns, it's pretty easy to actually defeat him, as with the ability to actually build a rupture stack, coupled with the fact that the passenger himself is fatal to gluttony damage, we can stagger and kill him without any issue.
개체들의 체력이 많이 깎여 나갔어.
후드려 패주지.
뭐야?
후드려 패주지.
부위 한쪽이 떨어져 나갔군. 과거 본인의 모험에서도. 와, 엄청난 공격이었어. 기념할 만한 걸.
팔에 스티커를 맞췄으니
후드려 패주지. 필요 없는 시간을
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
잘 싸웠군. 새로 들어온 놈도 마음에 든다. 앞으로는 굴러 들어오는 놈도 적극적으로 받아들이기로 하지.
And that's how I soloed Mirror Dungeon 5 hard using only Dead Rabbits Boss Meursault. The best thing I can say about him is he's usable. Rupture doesn't usually need any more than 2 or 3 turns to kill any one boss in particular, so by having a single neutral count skill, he can at the very least be used. But that's literally the only good thing I can say about him. Maybe if there were more positive Rupture count skills in the game, my opinion would change, but as it stands right now, just use Sync Meursault. He's better in every conceivable way. Anyway, that's it from me. Like and subscribe to not miss next time where we'll be using this character. Goodbye!